Don't goof this time. Don't fuck it up.
Rah! Ring, ring, ring. Hello, priest, and welcome back to Krown's magical devil's cave.
Oh, baby. Holy fucking moly. That song makes me feel I can kill one stone with two birds. And we are back. We are fucking back. And today's a very big day as it is the monthly closure. It's the last day of August. So welcome to the last day of August. And if you're in the Western Hemisphere, actually, even if you're on the Western coast, you might still be on August 30th, I guess. So it is preparation for another 24 hours or so. Anyways, with that said, we have plenty to talk about today, obviously, and it is all a setup for the new month to come, of which there are a couple of very big signals that could be baking that would really drive biases to come in for September. It's September, the month of Rectember, right? That means that it goes down just because it's September and the sun goes around the world, or the world goes around the sun, and so Bitcoin must jump! Anyways, whatever that means, let's get into it right now. Starting off with the Krown Sheet application. I'm going to turn off the alerts right there. And what's up, Mr. BK? We'll get to that soon enough. And with that in mind, let's go look at the Krown Sheet application, which we found at app.currency.net. There is a link to description below as well. It is 100% free, by the way, too. Anyways, on top of that, we do see that Bitcoin dominance actually did hit a little bit down from, actually, no, we didn't have a good read on this one from yesterday to today, but it is still more or less flat. I would still be looking for an actual upside move on that one, which within the context of this price action actually does start to support some downside action. However, again, there are more important signals on the board, but there are a few underlying market dynamics that you do need to be aware of right now that do start to suggest a little bit more weakness going on Bitcoin specifically. But again, the criteria for switching around to bearish, at least in my opinion, is still very much well solidified. And until we actually get that, I will not switch around myself. And it is getting relatively close, I should say, however. Anyways, fear and greed index also at a 73 as well. So we are still more or less greedy as Bitcoin does trade sideways within an overall range. And we do see on the top 10 best coins list a humongous amount of just gains across the board. Cello, Airweave, Harmony, Solana, Phantom, Cosmos, all with double-digit gains or more, actually. And most importantly, Solana putting in another new all-time high. I think it hit around our almost $120 target. I suppose when I was sleeping. I mean, that is just fucking powerful right there. Cello putting in 54.5%. That is just insane. On the other side, we do see a few losers. Ravane, Avalanche, Decentraland, Internet Computer, which all were actually there yesterday and the day prior as well. Bitcoin SV2, Scicoin, and Chiliz, all coughing up some gains from last week. And into the market data tab we go, of which do we see anything that is new right here? No, not necessarily. Again, the global funding rate still is not anything too concerning. I would still say that does more or less support the boo law case right here, but open interest dipping down a little bit. So we do see longs taking profit at this region, which is getting very close here. So if there's going to be a squeeze within this price action right now, it's not going to be a short squeeze. It will be a long squeeze. So that would support, again, the downside narrative that I think a lot of people are looking at right now. Although I would argue that the downside narrative for what people are kind of putting forward is based on a bunch of bullshit for the most part. However, this right here is rather concerning, and I can make a pretty damn good bearish case, as I have been for the past week or so, mostly with the weekly trend. But with that said, it is still not confirmed, and I still do run with the assumption that Bitcoin sideways is overall good. Anyways, with that said, there's really not anything else here that I'd spend too much time on, as we see more or less all of the same things that we've been looking at really for the last week to week and a half now. So I want to start off with the most important thing, the one chart to rule them all, the one chart that matters most right now, and that's actually not Bitcoin, it's Ethereum, in fact, as I do believe it's the most obvious one right here. And when things are the most obvious, I like to stick with them, and that would be Ethereum on the monthly on the Trollinger Band chart, of which we do see it is trading above the topside Trollinger Band right now, and will have a chance to close later tonight in 18 hours 45 minutes and 22 seconds on the daily closure, which will be at 8 p.m. Eastern time. With any sort of a closure above 31.85, it will confirm once again above the topside Trollinger Band after a 1-2-3 month, technically 4-month correction right here. And again, the last time we saw some a signature like this was going on back in November 2020, almost 1 full year ago to the month. Almost I guess more like 10 months. Anyways, most importantly with that, once Bitcoin, but once Ethereum did close above the topside Trollinger Band right there, did go on for a pretty monumental rally, as you are very likely aware, of about 750%. from bottom to top, and then of course did close below and go into a bit of correction phase, but all major moving averages did maintain a positive slope throughout that. So this is to be looked at least first and foremost as a bullish correction for now. And if this does close above the top side of Bollinger Band, I would say that is more or less confirmed coming into the month of September. We also have the bi-monthly closing as well. I'm curious to see what this one looks like right now. That is not bearish. That is not bearish, and this one will very, very likely close above the top side of Bollinger Band, which will be 25.50. So a clean almost $1,000 above right now, which for Ethereum is kind of a big deal. For Bitcoin, $1,000 means pretty much nothing, as you likely know. But that's why they trade, I guess in many multiples difference of each other. But for right now, this does look like a pretty damn good setup for Ethereum. And my general thesis is that if we are going to see Ethereum with these bullish continuation sort of indications, then I would very likely be looking for something similar on Bitcoin as well. Maybe Bitcoin spends a month going sideways throughout this September, but overall, if Ethereum does start to confirm above these levels, especially, and I think that the bi-monthly is very fucking obvious right here, then I would be looking for very likely new all-time highs before maybe even end of year, maybe in a retest of prior all-time highs into September, maybe October, something like that. Anyways, with that said, the monthly, we should look at indicators over here as well. We do see that monthly MACD in its current posturing. If it does close basically anywhere above 3,200, we will see an increase on MACD histogram. So momentum is increasing alongside. This would be a volatility indicator over here with the Bollinger Bands. And then of course, trend continuation as well, as you do have, well, yet again, another high low right here and continuation above on a new closing all-time high, which again, I'm just not going to be bearish on. So with that in mind, I do think that Ethereum's monthly chart is the most obvious thing right now. And when I see something that's the most obvious thing, I like to roll with that, especially when it is closing later tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So I suspect that there's not going to be too much waiting between now and then in order to confirm that, obviously. Anyways, with that in mind, we can go back to Bitcoin, and what do you know? Bitcoin's still in the same damn range that we looked at from yesterday. Kind of boring to be looking at Bitcoin right now. And it's really, one of those times where trading altcoins is probably going to be the go-to, I suppose, as there hasn't been too much edge to be had on Bitcoin. More or less just this like $2,000 range between $49,000 and $47,000. We did say yesterday that Bitcoin was likely to test around $47,000, and we got that in the early morning hours, actually right before the stream right here, thus far bouncing off. Not really giving us too much other than that. Do we see any sort of divergences forming right now? Could this be considered a higher low comparison to this prior low right here? Well, if Bitcoin does start to stop and reverse right here, which it is not right now to be fair, it is not right now to be fair, and we actually did just get another drive of hidden bearish divergence on the last high right there, would we have even hidden bullish divergence on the other side? No, we would not. So that would be another point in the barrel's court right here, suggesting a little bit more likelihood for some downside. On top of that, even 4-hour jewels getting some downside curvature, not good. Supported also by the DMI on that one as well. And volatility is starting to look for a little bit of expansion right here, but really want to see that moving average actually get a positive slope until I start to align with that. So if Bitcoin does start to break down from this region, again, about $47,000 on a 4-hour closure, I want to see a little bit below there on a 4-hour closure to be fair. If it's going to be a daily or a 12-hour, then yes, that would probably work. But in this case right here, I would be looking at a move down around the 21 exponential average, which is about 45,000 and some odd change, about 45,350 to be exact right now. Actually, sorry, more like 45,400. So another $1,500 move is kind of what I'd be looking for if that criteria is met. But until that criteria is met, I do still look at sideways within this range as more or less good, even though there are several indications now that do suggest that Bitcoin is a little more likely to actually break this region. We do see daily RSI giving a drive of phantom divergence right there. And we do see, I believe, on the 12-hour as well, something of significance. Yes, we do start to break below the 21 exponential average right here, especially below, yeah, again, that 46, actually 800-ish tick right there. Then I would be looking for that next drop OLA down somewhere between about 45 and some odd change to about 44,500 or so is where I'll be looking towards as we do see this setup start to occur. Again, it's a long day left to go, and Ethereum will set the tone for myself coming into the next month. But for right now, Bitcoin under a little bit of pressure, even on the short-term timeframes right here. Not looking all that hot, although I would be looking for a bounce off this level first and foremost before anything else does theoretically happen. And that level being about 46,800 or 46,900 or so on an hourly specifically. We do see, actually, we don't see anything of particular interest right here on hourly RSI, but on hourly jewel, we have lost the downside curvature for right now. If we start to get an actual upside curvature on that one for the people who have the jewel, I would be looking for a bounce up somewhere around about 47.5 to maybe even 48,000 bucks first before anything else happens. On top of that, if we can go look at momentum oscillators over here as well, and we will notice that there's a very casual or a very common signature that we're seeing right now. We do see hourly is going to be twisting back up with any sort of a closure on this next 41 minutes closure. With any sort of a closure above of about 46,900, let's call it right there. And you'll notice that the next few are going to be pretty damn similar to each other. The buy hourly is going to be showing about 48,000 bucks to turn Stokes up. 3 hours going to be showing 48,150, and 4 hours going to be showing what 48,100 as well. So they're all coming in right around about 48,000 bucks. So even if Bitcoin does get a bounce on the short-term timeframes to 48,000 bucks, which I do think is actually rather likely, somewhere around there is probably fair game. If Bitcoin starts to fail to close above that region, it is going to start to look like, well, that this trend is reversing on the short-term time frame specifically. We do see, obviously, right around here that we do have a slew of lower highs now. We got high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. We do have a couple lower lows right there on the hourly specifically, but not necessarily on the 4 hour right here. Actually, yes, we do. High, low, lower high, lower low, and lower high right there, and lower high right there. And are we on the same low? Yes, we are on the same low. So actually, yeah, starting to formulate itself. So yes, the bears case is starting to strengthen right here. Again, I would be cognizant though, and I would put the focus on Ethereum's closure later today for the monthly specifically. If that criteria is met, I'm very happy to be bullish on pretty much the general market. Obviously, there's going to be outliers here and there, no shit. But at the end of the day, I would be looking for that to very likely follow through. With an upside resolution. I know that everyone likes to talk about, or not everyone, but the sort of meme within the market right now, as the market always has the market consciousness always has a fucking meme, and what is it right now? It's that September is bad. September always goes down. And as we looked at yesterday, I was actually not able to reproduce this. So I suspect that a lot of people who are kind of espousing this sort of thing, they're actually not even backtesting this themselves. What they're doing is they're just parroting what someone else said who they think either sounds smart or they just agree with, which is typically what happens anyways. People don't want to hear other opinions. People typically want to hear their own opinion said by someone else that they can then agree with and then retweet it and whatever the fuck. Anyways, if we actually do go back into the annals of history here, we can go through this together and you can decide for yourself. Is September bad? Well, we can see right on over here when was our first September coming into this asset. Well, it was right here. Bitcoin actually did go up during this September, which by the way closed as a fucking doji, so I would consider this a null event anyways, but it did technically go up about 200% before closing even. Interesting right there. I wouldn't necessarily call that a bearish month, so to speak. I'd call that a phenomenally bullish month and then close basically as a consolidation. Anyways, that was all the way back in 2010. Okay, so one of one, I'd say that that's a wash at best, at worst, and at best it was actually pretty damn good in trading environment, to be fair. Anyways, what do we have after that? Do we have another September over here? Where's September 11? Where is it? I know it must be here somewhere. September 11 actually was a bad one right there. Actually, that was in fact the worst one from my recollection. So we got one bad example right there. Okay, let's go to 2012. Where is it? Right here. This would be a green month, actually closing on an uptick of what? About 38.5%. I wouldn't necessarily say that that's my idea of bearish. So I'll just leave that right there. What about September 13? We can go way on over here. And where is it? I know it's right here. Another green month as well. This one closing basically as a doji. I'll say that this is a wash similar to the first one as well. But if you really want to be super, granular with it, it did close up about 3% or so. So that's, again, one of 3 iterations now. Pretty much had a bad result that I would argue. Other than that, do we have another example over here? Yep, this would be another good example right here. This one down big. So we got 2 out of 4 thus far. And then I think after that, it's mostly green. We see September 2015 right here. Again, closed green on a little bit of an uptick before pretty much being the reversal. Another 3% move right there. That was, again, September 2015. So we go to September 2016 now. And where were we right here? Again, closed green on a decent uptick after a nice correction. This one about 10% up from bottom to top. Okay, not bad. Again, I wouldn't necessarily call that bearish. We can go to September 2017 right here as well. And again, this one actually did close a little bit down, but would you call this necessarily bearish? I don't know about that. Did come down about 10% from open to closure. So, if you do want to say that it is, then I'd say that that's 3 out of how many now? 3 out of about 7. Yeah, 3 out of 7. Still, I wouldn't necessarily say that this is great statistics right here. Going over to September 2018, this one a little bit down as well. Did close down. I imagine this one would be about another, about 7.5 to 8% right there. So let's say that that's about 4 out of 8 now. If we go to September 2019, where was it? Right here. Is this one a bad one? This one's actually pretty damn bad right there. That would probably be the worst iteration that I can find on the charts thus far. I think this one's down about like 20 to 30%. No, about 15% actually from open to closure. And then what do we have? September 2020. Again, this is just sideways consolidation. I mean, this is just continuation. So I don't really look at that as bad, to be quite honest with you. I'd say that at best this is like a 50-50, and what do you fucking know? You know, cyclical type shit is more or less 50-50. I'm not surprised to see something like that. So again, going through together, I would implore you to make up your own mind. Of course, everyone's free to think whatever the fuck they want to think, but if your main thesis is just based off September equals bad for Bitcoin, I would maybe consider considering a few other things as well, you know, because it seems like that would be more or less of a coin flip, which you know, isn't really an edge. And how do you manage risk on something like that as well is the real question. That's not a trading plan. That's just something that you put on Twitter so that other people retweet it, and then you feel, you know, better about your own ideas, which is not really confirmed by anything statistical. It's just confirmed by other people agreeing with you, which maybe that's the way, right? The herd is always right? Anyways, going back on into the shorter term timeframes, let's see what we got going on over here on spot price action. Is there anything different on spot price action, more importantly, than, bless you, sir, than CME? No, not necessarily on a 4-hour. Got the same drive of hidden bearish divergence right there. 12-hour right here, again, still operating on somewhat of a higher low. However, that one is certainly going to come into a bit of a call right there, or a little bit of a close call right there. And then, of course, the daily, which I do want to spend a little bit of time focusing on here as well. Daily is probably the one that would make me, yes, most bearish if we do start to see a closure below about 40, what is it, about just below $47,000, or basically wherever the 21 exponential average is right here. If that starts to happen, yes, I do believe Bitcoin will come down somewhere between about $42,500 to $43,000. But for right now, I do still look at this cross as, you know, somewhat playable, as we did identify over the weekend. And I'll actually do a quick little primer on this one just right here, right now. Nothing too crazy on this one. I won't go through the whole rigmarole on it. I think the video is still very much there, so you can obviously go through that if you so desire. But we have seen several of these crosses. Let me actually go to the more long-term chart right here between the yellow 20-minute exponential average and the white 200 moving average right here, and they've all had, you know, somewhat of an interesting and in general similar response. We can see the last time that Bitcoin had this cross way back on over here, Bitcoin was breaking out of the March 2020 coronavirus dump lows, and what happened after that? Goes into a nice sideways long consolidation. But you can see from top to bottom, this was, well, I mean, from top to bottom, it didn't really have any major reversals until, well, about $8,000 all the way to $65,000. So I won't even count that one. It's going to be too much. Let's look at this one over here. This one would be a better example for, you know, what would be considered perhaps a failure on this. Again, cross happens right here. You test into it right here. Okay, from top to, or from bottom to top, 15.25% move right there. Not bad. Does end up failing. Yes, and fair enough. You know, then we have another great example over here. Sideways consolidation. Sounds rather familiar now, doesn't it? And then Bitcoin goes up from basically all the way from $5,000 to about $14,000. Almost a 200% move right there. When was the last time that we saw a cross like that? Other than that was way back on over here from October 2015. Again, this one taking you all the way from about 250 all the way up to $20,000. So I think we'll just we can just probably see that one's probably fine. Anyways, this one over here, rather interesting. Now, what I should do is I should actually add a 30 simple into the mix as well. I didn't do it on this one just because I wanted to make this a little bit more on the fast side. And I would argue that this is not a good example of it. The reason why it's not a good example of it is because the white 200 simple does have a negative slope throughout this whole way right here. So even though this one actually does, you know, get somewhat of a move, I guess, if you do actually play the cross, that'll be a 5.5% move. Not much, not really worth talking about. I'd argue that this one is not the one that you're looking for to begin with, because again, they do have negative slopes, and that disqualifies it as, you know, as a good example. Anyways, other than that, do we see any other examples here? Yep, we got this one over here. Once they start to get positive slopes, Bitcoin obviously levels out, and well, that's your whole move from about $5 to 1,100, just a couple years later. Other than that, there's no other iteration. So looking at it right now, do we have positive slopes on these two moving averages? Well, the 21 is starting to flatten out, but it is okay. The 200 simple flat with slight positive slope, or I don't know, I'd actually say it's more than it's more likely flat right there. But overall, even on those failures, we did see about a 10 to 15% move. Thus far, we have about an 8% move right there. Could you argue that that's within the context of that? Yeah, I do think so. But again, where does it start to turn around? Well, pretty much right at my pivots anyways. $47,000. We will start to naturally see this turn down. And again, I actually do think that there is some decent reasons to be looking for a little bit of short-term downside, even on like a buy daily right here. Now, I wouldn't necessarily just say that this is blindly playable. Again, I do want to see the short-term time frame range broken first. Again, that would be the $47,000 level, technically a little bit below there. But if Bitcoin does dump below there, I would be looking for a nice move somewhere down around about $44,500 to $45,000. Very likely a bounce there with continuation implied lower to about $42,500 to $43,000. Until that happens, though, I still look at this as, I guess more or less fine. And the focus is on Ethereum's monthly closure. If that starts to close above all of the critical levels that we just spoke about at the beginning of the stream, I'm not going to be bearish on this price action. I'll just be looking for sideways within a range, and Bitcoin probably resolves it maybe later September or early into October, something like that. Do we see anything specific on the 3-day as well? This one's going to be closing tonight here too. And thus far, it doesn't look too hot right there, to be fair, but I'm not really getting too much from that. And I believe also that a 5-day is closing for CME. Again, I'm not too fussed with this price action right here. Do we have any sort of potential hidden bearish divergence populating itself right here? No, we do not. So again, I am still kind of within the midst of not really seeing again, I do see bifurcation between these signals, so I'm inclined to still go with the former until proven otherwise. I know that is a very unsexy analysis, and I saw some people earlier in the chats being like, that's exactly what Krown's going to say. And it's like, yes, that's what having rules is about. Otherwise, you kind of flip-flop every fucking day, and then you end up as one of those wreck traders who just, continually is taking the other side of the trade when, not really having like a real plan. Anyways, with that said, I think perhaps it is time to get into the chats today. We can make this one a little bit of a faster day today, and let me get on into my Discord right there so I can see the chatties. Oops, I actually don't have it up right now, so let me just here. I'm going to turn on the alert section as well, so we're good to go right there. Let's see what Elsa has lined up right here as. Yes, okay, there we go. All right, so we got BK. He's looking at, sir, please AVAX USD for our daily weekly. Sure, man. All right, so this one is... That's a great name for cryptocurrency, huh? What the fuck is this thing, by the way? Whatever it is, it's good. We can record this one, I suppose. Not bad. Certainly not bad short term. Let's see what the 4-hour looks like right here. Do we have any sort of bullish divergence forming? No. Do we have hidden bullish divergence forming? No, because this one's actually closing on lower lows right there. Would be looking for a bounce on this one regardless of what it's doing right here. However, should we record this one? Should we not record this one? Yeah, fuck it. Let's record this one. How about that? Oh, did forget to go over Bitcoin on the medium-term timeframes, by the way. 12-hour right here. What do we see? 12-hour Stokes did lose that area that we spoke about yesterday at $48,000. I believe on the daily closure. So with that in mind, 48,250 is magical number for that one again. Also in line again with the short-term time frame. So we do see a lot of things lined up at $48,000, and daily is showing 49.5. So that one ain't turning up anytime soon. So what does it essentially imply? It essentially implies that if you are going to be bullish through this, probably not gonna bottom out like right here. It's probably gonna take a little bit of time, and then maybe later this week we actually do see a bit of a move. Again, more or less, I do have eyes on Ethereum right now. Anyways, looking at AVAX, I would be looking for a bounce here, regardless whether you're bullish or bearish. Very likely back up somewhere around about $44 or so. Looking at the daily, if that does get rejected, I would be looking for a slight downturn to about 37.25. Do not make a mistake about it, though. I'm not bearish on this. This is very, 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 very good. It looks like Binance turned on the fucking volumizer bot over here. Oh, good old Binance. Even when they're getting investigated by all the goddamn agencies in the world, well, they'll still do shit like this. Well, that's great. Anyways, looking at the weekly, still not necessarily bearish on something that closed on new all-time highs. No divergences to be spoken about just yet. What do we see on the 5-day as well, which is going to, that's actually not closing today. 3-day closes today. So I would probably actually be looking for a bounce. And then assuming that this one does fail to get back above the last lower high right here at about $50, I probably would be looking for that one to trade a little bit lower before the next sort of move, and a little bit lower, implying about 37.25. So short-term bouncy, yes. However, I do expect that this one takes one more dip a little bit lower, and I'd be looking for, I'd be looking for some low side structures right around about, again, it was about 37 to 37.50 or so is where I'd be looking towards. Let me get rid of this one. It is not relevant to what we're talking about right now. And is there anything else that I want to be speaking about? Yeah, this is actually, of course, your May breakdown levels as well. So short-term bouncy, yes. Assuming that bounce does, have a short-term failure anywhere below about $50 in this case, I would be looking for one more stab lower to about $37, and then perhaps an actual low right there on the daily. depending upon what time frame you're looking at, which you are looking at a 4-hour, daily, and weekly. Weekly can't really make a whole hell of a lot out of this. Just can tell you the obvious. This one closing on new all-time highs is not my idea of bearish. However, you might want to be aware of the monthly. And here's what I'd feel a lot more confident with talking about Mr. BK, and it would be this: any sort of a closure at all, especially above. Today, especially above 36 or especially above $37, short-term pullbacks, yes, they can occur down to low 30s. That's completely fine. I would be looking for a retest of all-time highs, very likely in September, maybe even new all-time highs, maybe late September or sometime in October. Again, if that criteria is met. If you see this thing close below, especially about 34 bucks right there, then that's at the point where I would be a little bit more, critical of this one. But for right now, I mean, at least for the information that we do have, we got low, we got high, we got higher low, and closing on new highs is not necessarily the criteria needed for a reversal in this case. So I'd probably be looking for a continuation of trend in that case. Jack asking me, what's up, man? Good morning, Krown. Sold the sun short and medium term, please. Yeah, let's check this one out. I think it would be worth another recording as well, just because this one has not just hit our targets, it's smashed our targets yet again. Fucking powerful soul. So here we go. We have Solana, symbol SOL, versus the dollar. This one being requested by Mr. Jack Assman. He is very consistent, of course, and that is good because we should actually be looking at this one. Anyways, I do think that it is very pertinent to be looking at the monthly right now because it is going to be the monthly closure later tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Any sort of a closure like this on new highs, which would essentially be made with a closure above about 50 bucks, I would be looking very likely for, at the worst, September to be a bit of a sideways consolidation month. Maybe it does test down somewhere around, 60 to 70 bucks. That's completely fine. However, I would be looking for new all-time highs before end of year yet again. This one has hit the majority of our targets that we had a couple weeks ago mapped out. Let me see where we're at right now. Yeah, we are right at, god damn it. Let me just put this more into view so I can see. Yeah, we're almost at the 2.414. So I expect that it does give one more stab up there, maybe a bit of a short-term pullback if you are on the short-term timeframes, like a 4-hour or an hourly right here. But again, these are just continuation right now. I mean, this is not a reversal even on the fucking hourly. So very, 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 very likely to continue at the very least to about 122.5 first. And then I'd be looking for maybe a short-term pullback right there. But are things done after that? You can see that volume is still pouring in on this baby, and that is exactly what you want to be seeing on these sort of mega moves. 4-hour RSI getting way up there and will be creating some bearish evidence, presumably so. If it does, assuming that we just don't get above about 92. But in this case right here, we don't even have a local high right now. So looking for a pullback right now is not the wisest thing to be doing. I suspect that this one at the very least hits about 122.5 first. Might even gun for, if things really get crazy into the end of the month, maybe even guns for like 140. You can even see on 4-hour BBWP, this thing is not even, I would expect this thing to be redlining after a just continuous upwards rally after that breakout that we saw almost a week ago now. On the 26th of August right here. Very, 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 very powerful move. So I expect that I wouldn't necessarily be looking for even a short-term high until we see this get to 100 percentile. Then I'd probably be cognizant of the potential bearish evidence formulated over there and then look for some pullback targets. Tentatively speaking, depending upon where it actually tops out first, which we don't have right now, and it's very unwise to be looking at pullback targets before you see an actual top confirmed, even on a fucking 4-hour like this. I'd presumably most likely be looking somewhere about somewhere around the 2.272 in this case, about a $1.10 on this one. If we go to the medium and higher term timeframes, very fucking good. There's nothing bearish about this at all. We did confirm the hidden bullish evidence right here from yesterday's video, and again, those targets have been met. So I expect that the more that I look at this one, I don't believe this is going to stop at 122.5. I do believe that this one probably does go towards 141st before playing out, decent sized pullback on a medium term time frame. Same thing on 12-hour BBWP as well. It is just breaking into the 90th percentile, so it is getting hot, yes, but I believe it can go more actually here. This is pretty fucking crazy. This is pretty strong price action. Definitely the best chart that we've seen thus far today. We can go look at our momentum charts as well and see where we're at right now. I imagine that everything's sky high right now, and yes it is. But again, this is why I have that rule with daily or with any Stokes. When you are above or below the critical zone, it's not until you come back down below or above it where it actually does become a bit of a lost momentum in this case. And this one's actually making new highs on this rally as well, which is insane. And we'll continue with the upside posturing as long as it's above about a 107.5. Powerful as all hell. 4-hour, same thing, 117.25 is a magical number right there. Hourly showing even short term 115. Crazy shit, certainly crazy shit, but overall I very likely do look for that one at the very least hit 122.5 before a local high in the short term timeframes. And the more that I look at it, the more I'm starting to look at about 140 or so. This is some really, really impressive stuff right here. Wow, just powerful as all hell. So with that said, hopefully that was helpful. And there you have Solana's. Nice one. All right, cool. Let's see what Bots for the Win has. Morning, sir, Inzer. That's me. What's up, man? Wishing you the best as well. Thanks for that. Just a nice positive message. I love it, baby. I fucking love it. Denki, welcome to the cave, sir. Welcome to the cave indeed. You got a... Is that a porcupine? Is that a porcupine? What's up, man? Hey, there he is. What's up, Ilya? Hello, Agent 666. Eden versus... Wait, what the fuck? By the way, I need to tell you, Elsa has caved in. Elsa has a goddamn walla now, and now she loves the wallas. She loves the walls. Just say it. Just show everyone, because she knows. She knows that it was inevitable. It was inevitable, and she has... I actually don't know what number what agent she is. Oh, you're saving all the koalas. Okay, she wants to save all the koalas, and there we go. All right, there it is. Anyways, okay, you're looking at Eden versus Ethereum. All right, let's check this one out over here. I can't say I've heard of this one before, but the chart ain't bad. I mean, did close on new all-time highs just 2 days ago, so not bad on that one. Anyways, you're looking at, or sorry, you got in at 0.008 after higher high on the 12th and higher low on the 17th. Okay, 0.008. Oh my God, so you got in... So you played this one basically perfectly. You got in after the higher low right here, and then the higher high right here. Beautifully done. You literally you bought right here. So you bought the trend reversal. Couldn't have done better on this one, at least in my opinion. And the volume is actually still pouring on this one as well. This is very, very impressive chart actually. Taking some profits to get more koalas. Oh, baby, save those wallas. Save those motherfucking wallas. Yeah, I expect that this one, well, you know, this one could easily pull back to like 0.015 or so. I'd just be looking at that as an opportunity. This one very likely makes new all-time highs into September. Very powerful chart right there. Very, 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 and good trading, man. Like, that's damn good. Not bad. Christopher Curry, what's up, man? Chain link, pump or pull back in the short term. All right, let's actually... I want to record this one as well, so we'll do a general overview of this one. Short term, what does short term mean to you? That would be my question to you, sir. But before we get into that, let me just plot it over here, and let's see. Actually, this one, okay, this one's actually a very interesting chart, in fact. All right, here we have Chainlink symbol LINK versus the dollar. And what do we have here? We got a bit of a range going on, but this one's actually incredibly obvious, in fact. And as long as it does hold above the 200 exponential average, it will inevitably be getting a golden cross. And I would be looking for an upside resolution out of this nice little consolidation right here between about $24.80 to $29. And if that does happen, I would be having a short-term target of about, you know, about $34, and probably with continuation implied as well. Here's the thing though, you do have a potential bait and switch available on this one, which is phenomenally bearish in my experience. And that would be confirmed with any sort of a daily closure below the 200 exponential average, especially below the 55, which are pretty much one and the same with each other right now at about $24. The thing is that you're either going to get a perfect golden cross right here, or you're going to get the fake out into a death cross. And the way to confirm these things is very well clarified. So again, as long as you're above this area right here, especially the 55 or especially the 200, but even the 55 if you want to be a little bit more conservative with it. I do look for this to trade sideways and outside of this range, and it would look pretty damn good. We'd expect momentum oscillators to agree with this as well. And do they? No, we're not getting any obvious signals right here on daily RSI. Daily Jewel is coming into a bit of fib support right there, so I would be looking for perhaps a little bit more sideways within this region, regardless of whether you're bullish or bearish, and volatility on the floor, but looking for a bit of a short-term expansion. I do want to see the moving average get positive on that. So this does still favor, I suppose, the BULAs, but I should talk about downside targets if this one does break. And again, that would be confirmed with the daily, especially below about 24.25. If that does happen, I'd look for a quick move down to about $22, very likely a bounce there, and then much lower over time. I'm talking down to, you know, $17-18, maybe even lower than that, but I wouldn't get too far ahead of myself right now. By the same token, if you want to go down to the short-term timeframes, do we see a bit of short-term bottoming signals? Yes, we do. I suspect we do see 4-hour Jewel with a bit of positive curvature right there, DMI supporting, and then on top of that, we see 4-hour RSI giving some phantom div right there. Now, I'd say that this one's, you know, obviously played out, but Chainlink has this inanimate object has put in what would be considered a higher low right here, again around the 200 exponent moving average, that purple moving average right there, which is more or less a good thing, again on very low volatility. So I do look at this as still within the context of the former trend, and still give the Bulas the benefit of the doubt on this one. Looking at a weekly, is there anything obvious right here? Not necessarily, no. 3-day, again a little bit more on the bearish side. We do have hidden bearish divergence right there. To be fair, how far has this move played out thus far? Could we argue that it's already played out? 20%, yes, I would argue that that is probably played out already if you are going to be looking at that. And again, it's not really until we close below about 24.25 where this one really does turn around to be massively bearish. And yes, I would feel comfortable targeting an overall move down to 17-18 bucks before the next sort of general bounce. Let's go look at it from a momentum oscillator perspective as well and see if there's anything to kind of gear up the probabilities over here as well. We see hourly will flip back around with any sort of closure above 25.32.5, which we are pretty much at right now, and that would imply a target very likely back up around 25.75 short term to 26 bucks. If we look at a 4-hour, where is it right now? It's actually popping back up alongside volatility. This is kind of a good signal right here, and rejecting the bearish control zone at the same time. 24.5 is the magical number on this one, so I'm leaning a little bit more towards an upside resolution after some short-term sideways here. 12 hours going to be looking like what? $25, which we're currently about 35 cents above. Again, I think this is a little bit more on the Bula-ish side, and daily is going to be 24.87, which we are currently almost a half buck above, right now. So I suspect that if you are going to be bullish on this one, you're looking for sideways and up, and I would still be running with that assumption again until 24.25 is actually broken on a respectable time frame like a 12-hour or daily for this one specifically. With that in mind, short term, I'd probably be looking for for test back up somewhere around about 26 bucks, and then your next sort of big pivot on the short term time frames would be right here, that rejective high that you saw in the early morning hours, 26.15 above there, especially on a 4-hour closure, or just a higher high above your wick right here, 26.63. And I would be looking for extension all the way up, to 27.5 plus, and probably just floats back up to the top side of the range. And this is going to look really good for an upside resolution. Probably not today, probably not tomorrow, but maybe either late this week or early next week is what I'd be looking for. But overall, the setup is there, and again, very well clear, defined ranges is typically a good signal. So hopefully that was helpful, and there you go, sir. All right, nice one. Legend LEZs is back. Oh, oh, god damn it, it's AMD. Oh, motherfucker, man. Hey, by the way, I have to tell you about this documentary that myself and Elsa have been watching. It's called QAnon Into the Storm or something like that. It is the look, I didn't know too much about this fucking QAnon thing. I just heard about it from the news and like random people who tell me about it. You need to watch this documentary. It's on HBO. It's fucking hilarious. It's the best thing ever. Like, you might think that it's real until you watch that. And once you start to see them singing the fucking songs, with the two people running for political office, then you start to go, okay, this is very interesting. This is very fucking insane. Oh, and Jim, yeah. Oh my fucking god, this guy is so You need to see it. We can't talk about it until you see it. It's just it's one of those things. Anyways, daily on AMD actually looking pretty damn good. Yet again, another higher low. I suspect that we've been remaining bullish on this one. We hit the next target to 112. It looks like, so good on that one. But what are you exactly asking about? I didn't even look. 34-minute daily and weekly plays. All right, let's look at a 30-minute. Short term probably does drop back down somewhere around about $1.10 or so. But again, this is in no way, shape, or form to be confused with bearish. Looking at the monthly right here, still probably like this one. I would be looking for a bit of a short-term pullback, anywhere down to $1.10, even down to about 107, 106.5 is fair game. That is just another higher low. I'm looking at this as a consolidation first and foremost. I do not get bearish on this one until you actually crack back down below the 103.5 level, of which I would start to target moves down below $100. But for right now, you got a bit of a range going on. Something like this, what you're looking at, and that's completely fine. If we're going down to an hourly, perhaps, which I do think is a little bit more useful in this case, I would be, I would be at the very least looking for a move down about $1.10, $1.10 to $1.10.5. If things get a little more crazy, 109 is fair game. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Weekly, closing on new. Did we close on New York Time highs? I believe we did, actually. Yes. So that's not necessarily bearish as well. Just consolidating between the 414 and the 272. Again, I don't have any major issues with that. Just looking for a sideways consolidation, and likely, are we going to be looking for another upside resolution coming into maybe late, maybe later in September or October. Probably yes. Again, a crazy chart right here. But we have to be looking at the tech sector because this one likely does trade with the techs. And looking at Nasdaq right here. Again, I know that I've been sounding like a fucking crazy person calling new all-time highs for like a year straight on this one. But I am just not going to be bearish on a chart that looks like this. And this is why I have those rules. I know that I'm going to catch a lot of shit for that. People are going to be like, Krown, you've been fucking bearish the whole way. It's like, yes, this is why. This is why. Look, I learned my lesson with this. Trying to front run a reversal before it happens is very, 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 very painful in my experience. And at some point, yes, this will get a 20% correction. And it probably even happens like later this year, maybe early next year. But for right now, this is not what I would call bearish. So I'd probably be looking for an upside resolution as well on AMD after a bit more sideways and with short-term downside implied. Looking really fucking good right there. Sir, you okay? You all right? Oh, there's some drama happening. Oh, dear Lord. We have some internet drama. You know that everything gets solved over YouTube comments, as you likely know. What's going on, sir? What's the issue right now? Charles G says AMP, USD, Coinbase, Gartley pattern on the daily. Gartleys are not something that I follow myself. Not to say that I don't respect them. I do respect them. It's just not my way of doing things. It's not my way of trading. Would I call this a Gartley? No, I'd call this a breakdown. This looks like shit. This looks like dog shit. I expect that there's a better chart than this though. Maybe on Gemini, perhaps. Yeah, then this starts to make it look a lot more interesting actually. Short term, I would be looking for this one to come back down to about what, just below 5 cent, somewhere between about 4.07 to, or sorry, 4.7 to 4.8 region. Probably another short term bounce there on the daily. 4 hour, looking like garbage. Weekly. Yeah, not going to be too great there on the weekly, to be fair. Bearish divergence, phantom drive on that one as well. So if anything, I'd actually be favoring the downside right here. Monthly, how we closing? Not super strong thus far. So I do think short-term downside, I would give it a chance to bounce off of 4.8 cent first. I would get phenomenally bearish on this one though, with any sort of a move below about 4 cent even, and below 4 cent even. There is no more arguments in my opinion for any sort of short-term, medium-term, or long-term bullish case. I'd be looking for big bad breakdowns to about 2 cents, so another 50% drop implied from there. Until then though, I imagine it probably trades with the rest of the market, but definitely not the strongest one right now. This one had its move prior to the Coinbase listing, and what do you typically get after that? At best, consolidation, which is what it's doing right now. At worst, you get the major reversal as you sell into the news. But in this case right here, yeah, short-term down. And then I want to see it after that. Other than that, I don't have any major opinions on it other than what you probably already know, which is I would be happy to get bullish on this thing back above about 7.8 cent, probably for a run to new all-time highs. But until that happens, this is risky. And again, Gartley pattern is not something that I care about too much myself. If that's your preferred way of trading, hey, fair enough. As long as you can, prove that, or as long as you can show yourself that you've made, profits with it consistently over time, hey, then all good. But for myself, no, I haven't really had a need to do that. Legend LEZs, what's up, man? Weekly trend, monthly accumulation distribution, and 5-day Gaussian channel. Go fuck yourself. Are still undefeated. Are they still undefeated? I don't know. Weekly trend is not put in a lower high just yet. Mr. Ollie, I gotta warn you, man. Until you actually get a fucking reversal right here, you can't call this a trend reversal just yet. You do not have a lower high here just yet. Unfortunately, if you do want to be bearish. If you are looking at the Gaussian channel, for example, do we have that signature in play as well? Let's go down to the 5-day and let's check it out. Did close above ever so briefly. Gonna have a chance to close back down below, technically speaking, but still got another about 3 days left to close. So I think that would be what, maybe Thursday or Friday? Yes, closure on Thursday or Friday. I think it's Friday actually. But hey, yeah, if that happens, then you might have some right here. Let's look at the past iterations of this. This would be similar to this bull trap right here. Yep. This would be similar to this bull trap right here. Yep. This would be similar to... Do we have any other examples right here? Somewhat of this one, not necessarily though. Do we have any other examples over here? Kind of this one right here as well. So yeah, 5-day Gaussian channel, probably the biggest bearish hopium right now as well, and that would obviously precipitate the weekly reversal as well. Yeah, if you do want to be bearish, again, there are a few good reasons to be so. And again, we did go over the underlying market fundamentals at the beginning of the stream. And the few things are switching around to be a little bit more downside postured right here. But until I see that actually confirmed, man, you're trying to front run a reversal, which is one of my big rules not to do. Again, you don't have to fucking adopt my rules, obviously, but if I can, maybe save some people a little bit of potential existential pain from going broke, that would be worthwhile in my opinion. But yeah, man, it is potentially there. It is potentially there. Accumulation distribution indicator, we can look at that as well. I actually don't know where I have it up on. I think I have it up on my fundamentals chart, maybe. Let's see. I imagine that's probably downside angled. Let's see what it would be like on Ethereum, however, just out of curiosity. Yep, it is downside angled, no doubt about that. Are we in agreement on all exchanges? Yep, Finex agrees, Coinbase agrees strongly. We do see agreement on, the Coinbase, Bitfinex, yes, and Bitstamp all in agreement. Even BitMEX right there as well, and then of course, and actually CME not necessarily so. What about Ethereum? Do we see a different signature on Ethereum? We do. Ethereum still has its positive curvature right there. Interesting, definitely interesting, and yeah, that one actually does hold quite a fair bit of weight. So perhaps something worth considering right there. So yes, there are several things in, and you can start to look for major downside moves. Again, in my opinion, as soon as that criteria is confirmed, but for right now, you are quite literally doing exactly that, front running a trend reversal before it's actually happened. And you're going to do the same thing over here. You're going to do the same thing over here. You're going to do the same thing over here. There needs to be something a little bit more, dedicated and a little bit more, what's the word that I'm looking for? You need to have some sort of like clarity on that. Where is your risk management going to be? Obviously, if you just blindly short all of those levels, which have essentially been giving you the same sort of analysis for the past month now. So again, it's like it's there, but is it actionable just yet? I would argue no. Although it's very fucking close, no doubt about that. Very, very close. To Love It All says, greetings from Honolulu. What's up, man? Can you please explain how we can identify bullish or bearish divergence? Okay, it's actually quite simple. It's divergence, as it implies, means that there's a divergence between the oscillator, momentum, typically a momentum oscillator, like RSI, for example, and price action, meaning that when price action makes higher highs and RSI makes lower highs, you have bearish divergence. When price action makes lower lows, but RSI makes higher lows, then you have bullish divergence. How does that work out? Well, essentially, if you actually think about it intuitively, it will make sense. If your momentum is waning, meaning that the RSI is making lower highs as price action makes higher highs, then that means momentum is waning. And if momentum is waning, then essentially the interpretation is that you can expect a bit of a pullback as price action isn't supported as much, and vice versa for the downside as well. And then there's also hidden divergences, but I think that they're better, more accurately called as continuation divergences. And here's another rule that I think a lot of people could do well to remember as well when it comes to divergences. You can only ever fucking ever, for the love of God, fucking ever, have bullish divergence in a downtrend. You can only have bearish divergence in an uptrend. For the hidden divergences, you can only have that on the same side as the current trend. So that would be a good way to kind of rule out potential signals that you might be seeing, or you could just be like me and be lazy with caretaker's RSI and have that kind of tell you everything. Let's see. The Doombass says, sir, hey, man, I appreciate that. But again, I'm not a teacher, man. I'm just a person sharing my experience on the internet. And whatever you do with that is of your own doing, man. And sounds like that's been serving you well. So, really, realistically, you should be giving yourself some credit rather than me. Anyways, you're looking at Sand USD on the 4-hour daily. Okay, yeah, we can look at this one. Derp. All right, Sand on Binance. Hey, and actually a pretty interesting chart here as well. I'm going to record this one just because it's a rather easy one, which I'm not above admitting, and more importantly, it is actually looking phenomenally different than most other charts. All right, here we have Sand versus the dollar. I believe it's Sandbox. Sandbox, there we go. Sandbox, symbol SAND versus the dollar right here. And the first thing that kind of stands out about this one is that's a phenomenally different chart than most things that we see in this market right now. We do see a clean break to closures on new all-time highs above this level right here. I guess I already have this one charted out a little bit of an ascending triangle going on from these last pair of lows right here. And we actually probably do have a measure move to be made off this. I imagine that we're probably already there, actually. Whenever we charted this one last, yep, we're actually right there, pretty much on a closing basis. Every once in a while, that TA bullshit works. Now consolidating between the 414 and the 272, that's completely fine. So let's go down to the lower term time frames and see kind of where we're at within this consolidation. Let me plop this on right there, and let me throw on a short-term bullish retracement for this one. Let's see where we're at. We're actually at the 618 right now, so I would be looking at this in confluence with the 21 exponential average right here as very likely getting that next sort of short-term low if this one is going to continue after a bit of a sideways consolidation. So again, Short term, I do expect that short term, best it does is just shot sideways within this range. Let's go down to an hourly right here. Sideways within this range would essentially imply between right here and this high right here, about $1.06 versus 94 cents or so. If it does start to lose 94 cents, that'd be your first warning signal. However, not the end of the game. Or I wouldn't say the end of the game, but you would see a bit of a fake out below about 90 cents, I would say. In fact, you know what? I'm going to elongate this range for right now, just because this one is probably flighty and floaty, being that it is an altcoin after all. But long term, very good chart right here for what it's worth. I mean, very few charts actually do have that just straight up without any major, prolonged downside movements. But for what it's worth right now, let's look at momentum oscillators. Let's see what 12 hours looking like right here. Again, back in the bullish control zone, our side did make new highs alongside price action. That is overall good. So I expect that after a bit of sideways price action right here, I would be looking for an upside resolution. Looking at it daily as well, what do we see? Cracking back into the bullish control zone for the first time since the run began on that last breakout from early July right here. Okay, very, very good. Do you like this? Volatility also rising alongside trend continuation. So we got volatility, trend, and of course momentum as well. I really, really like that setup. I expect that you probably do trade sideways for a little bit of time and then very likely do continue on to new all-time highs. 3-day is going to be closing tonight as well, and we did play out the hidden bullish evidence right here. Yes, any sort of a closure today on the 3-day, basically here or higher, especially above $1. I'd be looking for new all-time highs probably in early September for that matter. Looking at momentum charts over here, let's see. We should be able to see short-term time frames probably turning down. Yes, we do. 106 actually in line with the short-term time frame resolution of the upside, and also a trend line coming in right around here as well, right at the edge of the bearish control zone. Just by the way, so I'd probably be looking for a bit of a bit of sideways short-term, just based off that, and then very likely an upside resolution depending upon whether the 3-day can close above that region. Which is going to be confirmed tonight. Daily is also, actually daily is going to cross back up with any sort of a closure above 91 cents or so. And of course, if we go over to the monthly, which is going to be closing tonight as well, any sort of a closure, yeah, here or higher. And I'd probably be looking for, maybe a bit of pullback into September. Could easily pull back down just below 90 cents. But overall, I'd be looking for probably new all-time highs, maybe late September, early October, something like that. One of the more interesting charts that we have seen today. So hopefully that was helpful. And there you go, sir. All right, nice one. Cool. Let's see. What else do we have over here? Denki says, please look at EWT. Do you see anything looking bearish or even sideways glances for the short term? Long term, I'm bullish, but need something bearish to build up my pyramid stack. Okay. This is EWT, Energy Web Token, or whatever the hell. There we go. All right, KuCoin's gonna be the one to go to for this one. Yeah, I can see a lot of bearish things for this one, man. If this thing even closes anywhere below $9.50, I'd be looking for a catastrophe of September, down probably to like $6-7 after that, over time, of course. But let's see what the monthly's looking like right now. Not really giving me I mean, this is a fucking pump and dump, man. I'd avoid this one like the plague. Weekly does not look hot. Weekly has massive hidden bearish evidence, it looks like, between this high right here and this high right here. Actually, do we? Hold on. Sorry, I stand corrected. That is untrue. That is very much untrue. 5-day does, however, and that doesn't look too hot right there. Again, same sort of pivot as the daily as we just spoke about, and 3-day's got the same pivot right there as well. Look, anywhere below 9.5 on today's daily total closure, maybe even on a 12-hour. A 12-hour, I'd say 9.25 would do it for me. In short term, yes, I do think that it will come down somewhere around about 9.25. Then I'd start to get really, really bearish. But for right now, short-term timeframes, I'd probably be looking for another bounce somewhere between about 9.25 to $9.50. If that area starts to fail, if you start to close 4-hour deals, especially below about 9.5, I would look for, I'd be looking for at the very least 9.25 to $9. Even that can bleed on into the higher term time frame closure. So yeah, I can find a lot of bearish things about this one. Hourly looks like shit. Hidden bearish evidence right here, very likely coming down short term. Yeah, I'd be favoring the downside right here at the very least about 9.5 short term. We would like to see the reaction right around there, and then kind of set it up for the higher term timeframes potentially to break down alongside with that. This one will look really fucking bad, actually. Really, 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 really bad. So one of the weaker ones that we have seen today, obviously, nowhere near making new all-time highs, which is in this market considered weak at this point, which is rather interesting. Anyways, Dan Deo, what's up, man? Hope you and Els are well. Hope you're well as well, sir. You spoke briefly about Ethereum. May I request for a more complete overview? Sure. Yeah, we can do that. Let's bring up Ethereum over here and actually record this one as well, because I guess it is the most pertinent thing going on tonight. And here we have Ethereum, symbol ETH versus the dollar, being requested by Mr. Dan Dea. He wants to do a general overview of Ethereum. So first and foremost, I do want to start off with the most important thing right here, even though we will go into the minutia of it, but that would be the monthly and the bi-monthly closure, both happening tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time in 17 hours, 56 minutes, and 55 seconds. If we do close above the topside Toronto band, which is 30, basically we could just say 3,200, although technically speaking, it's about 3,190 or so right now. It does oscillate a little bit into the closure, to be fair. Then I would be looking for September at worst to go sideways and at best to make, well, a retest of prior all-time highs, and probably new all-time highs will be implied before end of year, likely somewhere between about October and November, if I had to guess. But right now, this does have a pretty damn good signature going on, because if you do close above the topside Toronto band, that would imply that volatility is once again expanding alongside trend continuation. So you got trend, and you got volatility, and do we have momentum as well? Yes, MACD histogram would also be increasing as well right here with the closure here or higher. It looked pretty damn good. So on top of that, we would see the last iteration that we do have of this signature was coming in back from a November 2020 breakout, which did produce from bottom to top about a 750% move to the upside. Pretty damn good right there. Not always going to be, that good, but I do think that the bi-monthly further supports this as well. Any sort of a closure, especially above last month's open, which is about 2770. So good buffer zone between where it's at right now and that region. Of course, weirder things have happened within the context of 17 hours or 18 hours of trading, but for right now, looking pretty damn good, bouncing off the non-exponential average, and also going to have a chance to close above the topside Toronto band on this one as well, with any sort of a confirmed closure above 2550 or so. So things are looking pretty damn good for the long term on Ethereum specifically. Anyways, we'll go down to the short term timeframes now, and on the daily right here, this does look like a pretty damn obvious ascending triangle for what it's worth right now, with a bottom side support coming in right around about 3130, which was our targeted region for the downside yesterday, which we did get. Now having a beautiful bounce off of, and this one, this one's actually just should be as clear as day. Yeah, I do already have it in right here. Topside resolution with any sort of a move above yesterday's high, that would be 33.49, or a daily closing high, which is pretty damn close to there anyways, about 33.20 or so. Could probably even do it on a 12-hour as well. If one of those two things happens, we do have a measure move based off this ascending triangle formation, which does have a higher probability to break to the upside than the downside in this case, somewhere around about 36.50 or so, with probably continuation implied on top of that, to be fair. If we look at momentum oscillators right here, hidden bullish evidence come off that last low, good. We do see daily BBWP is absolutely on the fucking floor right here as well. So we are looking at a pretty damn big move. I mean, the last time we saw BBWP on the daily this low was, for this long, has actually not happened since when? Basically since this area over here, and even that was not that that long as well. Actually, perhaps it was. This was back in November 2019, by the way. This did precipitate a major downside move, by the way. This is direction neutral, just so you know. Same thing over here. This one happening to the upside, however, and this one did produce about from bottom to top a 150% move right there. So we are looking at a big move coming up right here. I would say that the probabilities do align with the Boo laws a little bit more than the Barrows right here. 3-day is looking like what, which is also closing tonight. Looks okay. Don't have any major issues with this one. And if we go down to the 4-hour, what do we see right here? We see this one having a bit of a stop line, to be fair. Short-term timeframes, what are we looking at? Again, very, 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 very low BBWP. 4-hour Jewel is giving a bit of upside curvature right here alongside DMI signals. So I do like that, as well as a bounce off the fib on there as well. So I do look at this as, at least short-term, more likely to pop back up somewhere around about, 32, more like 3280 to 3300 or so. That's going to start to look pretty damn good for the medium and higher term timeframes coming into tonight's closure. Looking at momentum oscillators over here, let's see what we got. Daily will cross back up with any sort of a closure today above 3140. That looks, for right now, pretty damn likely. 12-hour will show upside as long as we're above 3220. Okay, still, somewhat on the more likely side. 4-hour showing 3200. This is also good. And hourly gonna have a fresh cross up with any sort of a closure in the next 53 minutes above 3240 or so. So yeah, I actually am looking for an upside resolution on this one. Short term, very likely back up somewhere around about 3280 to 3300. And more long term, I mean, if that condition is met alongside the monthly, I'm looking for a retest of prior all-time highs probably into September, maybe October, and then new all-time highs before end of year. That would look really, 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 really good. So there you go. Hopefully that was helpful, sir. And then of course I should offer up, where to get bearish on this one. It'd actually be pretty damn easy on this one. Again, anywhere below 3100, I'd be phenomenally bearish. I'd be looking for a nice move down to 2850. Probably bounce there, and then probably that bounce fails. But for right now, this is looking like a pretty damn good setup. So that would be a little bit more on the bullish side. Hopefully that's helpful there. And there you go. Nice one. Immunity 1H says, "Hey Krown, what's up, man? Thank you. Could you have a look at gold? Yeah, let's look at. We haven't looked at gold in like a month, man. Sure. Let's go check it out over here. XAU piece of actually looking pretty damn good right here, turning the corner, and I suspect that this one's actually setting up for a bit of a breakout right here. Yep, weekly did close on new highs above this consolidation range. I'd be looking for this one in September to work its way back up, 1870 to 1880 or so. I don't know if necessarily going to have an upside resolution for the whole formation in September, but this is so far a pretty damn good move right here. A very, very good buy up on the 21 exponential average essentially, and also in line with your last lows as well right there. So I'd actually be favoring the upside long term, short term as well. 4 hours actually freshly reversing right here as well. Trend continuation above all major moving averages. We do see hidden bullish evidence on 4 hour as well, and volatility actually declining right there, which would be a little bit of a pushback on that statement. But overall, the hourly is going to support that, and I believe the daily does as well. Yeah, it does, and this one should be declining as this one is still technically ranging on the daily. Your daily breakout will be with a wick above your 4th of August high at about 1831, or a closing high basically above almost the exact same level anyways, 1828 or so. And then yes, I'd be looking for a move back up basically around 1870 to 1880 or so, and then probably a breakout out of the range probably in September. Actually, this one's not a bad setup right here. This is actually pretty damn good for what it's worth. Even the monthly jewels lost its downside curvature, so I would be favoring at worst some sideways action inside that range, and at best an upside resolution bi-monthly, pretty damn good as well. So yeah, gold actually looking decent here. Gold actually looking pretty decent. I'm going to take a sip of this water, man. I am damn thirsty right now. Holy shit. There we go. Good for another 5 minutes, I think. All right, Super Ghoulie says, I am taking dramatic actions on my trades right now! Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Holy shit, thank God I drank the water for that one. Give me a look at 23.18 on Hong Kong Exchange. Sure. All right, 23.8. Okay, this baby right here. Ping An. All right. Looks bad. Bad on the bi-monthly. Bad on the weekly. Bad on the daily. We have a shitcoin of a chart, baby. We have the worst chart of the day award. There you go. Tell him what he's won. He's won a trip to shitcoin jail. Wow. Thing's pretty fucking bad, man. This one has been uninvited from the Copacabana. Volatility turning up on a trend reversal. It probably does bounce pretty damn soon. I wouldn't be surprised to see it bounce anywhere between here and about $55, but do not confuse bounce with anything resembling a reversal. This thing is absolutely fucking garbage. Terrible. Just fucking terrible. It might bounce up somewhere around like 65, maybe even $70 if it's lucky into September, but this thing is fucking terrible. Jesus Christ. I would be surprised to see this thing come down to like $45 in like the next 6 months, maybe a year. I would not be surprised at all to see something like that. This is terrible chart. Fresh breakdown. That's what should look like right there when you do see a major reversal. Very bad. Jesse LaJolie. Hey, what's up, man? Currently sidelined until confirmation of market direction. Fair enough. A lot of people are either about to get very rich or very poor. You not cut hair. I not cut hair. No way. That's exactly right. And man, hey, that is a fair assessment. It sounds like you know what you're looking for. It sounds like you at least have a plan. That's what it's all about, man. It doesn't necessarily mean that that's like 100% guaranteed to work out, but well, I mean, I guess you're waiting for confirmation of direction. That's kind of what I should be doing right here too with my testnet account. In fact, if I was doing things right, I should cover my current position. You know what? I'll do that right now. Let's go over here. Let's check out my options and let's actually cover my current $33,000 long. Let's not use this expiration. Oh, God damn it. I forgot how to do the goddamn expirations on this one. Motherfucker, man. Well, actually, we could use... Want to use today's? No, we don't want to use today's. We want to use tomorrow's. Where is the... God damn it. I fucking hate that Deribit updated this right now. Oh, you piece of shit, you. Is it over here? Can I just... Nope, I can't pick out the strike right there. How dare you? Show me the goddamn expiration, you bastard. Around it. Okay, no, where the fuck? Where the actual fuck? Where the actual fuck? Can I just do it this way? Do this. I'd actually be happy to do the September's. God damn it, Deribit. Why would you do it? There we go. Okay, you just click on that. That did not look clickable to me, but whatever. Do you actually want to do this on the 3rd? No, I'll do it on the 1st. All right, and how will I do that? I'll cover this with probably the $44,000 strikes. Give me a little bit of buffer there just in case things actually do break down. Alrighty, let's see. Can I do this in dollar format? Oh, you fucking bastard. There we go. All right, lovely. And I want about 3,000 would be. I'll take it. And we'll do this 5 times. Cover that position. Thank you. All right, nice one. Okay, we're good right there. Lovely, covered. And good for another 24 hours, actually. What's up, Mr. Solverine? Morning to you as well, sir. Got a chance to check out Avangrid, AGR. Okay, let's check it out. Let's see what we got right here. All right, what do we have right here? Very, very good. Very, very good. Very, 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 very good chart. Weekly, monthly. Also mind taking a super quick look at... God damn it, you bastard. You know better. Yeah, this is pretty damn good right here. I would be looking for new all-time highs probably into September. This is strong. This is strong. We can look at Tellurian for just a second, man. I hate looking at that piece of shit, though. Tentative targets like short-term on a breakout in September is like 60 to 63 bucks. And we'll tell... And what is your obsession with these shitcoin charts? I just want to know why. Still looks like shit to me, man. Still looks like shit. Look, any sort of a closure below 290, even here is good enough for me. I'd be looking for this one to keel on over the next 6 months to a year. Hidden bearish evidence on monthly RSI. You're playing with hopium, man. You're playing with hopium right now. Even the monthly jewel is losing its curvature right now as well. I expect if that one turns white on the next tick, you're going to play out that hidden bearish evidence all the way down to, certainly below $2, probably somewhere around about $1.60 to $1.80 or so. Still looks like shit, man. Still looks like absolute shit. The other chart, though, very good. Very, very good. Reward your winners. Don't reward your losers. Pablo South, what's up, man? Bonjour, Krown. What's up? What's up, mon ami? I sold my CGLD at all-time high. Nice. Okay. Is 450 a re-entry? I don't know, because I don't know if what was it, CGLD? I don't know. I don't know what you're looking to hold this for. Anyways, you sold at. Okay, am I looking at the right thing? Because this thing is trading nowhere near $4.50. Yeah, this can't be the right one. Because this has never even, according to this information, never even traded there. Maybe it's trading OTC on. No. I suspect that I don't know. Yeah, I don't. Are you talking about maybe you're talking about oh, you're fucking talking about a crypto. Jesus. Okay, you are talking about a crypto. All right, so you sold the breakout, basically. Fair enough. I mean, you have to have your rules, and it sounds like you were taking profits. But what were you looking for right there? I mean, this thing is this thing is probably gonna make new all-time highs into September as well. Wouldn't mind a pullback down to like 5.5 or 540 or so. Is it likely to pull back from here? Yeah, at the least 5.5. I'd probably say over the next couple days. BBWP is absolutely fucking redlined right here, so I would expect that this one does pull back a little bit, but I would also look for a continuation of that one. More importantly, into September, perhaps maybe October, but that one's looking pretty damn good. Dana or Donna? I always get this confused because I knew a girl in college and she spelled her name like that, Dana, and we called her Donna, but like to me it looks like Dana. Anyways, hopefully I'm not being hopefully I'm not being disrespectful right now. It's not my intention. Anyways, you're looking at pancake swap, 4 hour, and daily, please. Yeah, we can look at this one. Symbol cake. And actually, I'll record this one as well. By the way, Elsa's putting up all the videos now too, so she's learning all the names of these, exotic cryptocurrencies. Here we go. Here we have pancake swap, symbol cake, C-A-K-E. C-A-K-E. There we go. I can't do my alphabet either. Versus the dollar. This one being requested by Dana or Donna. I'm not so sure just yet. We're going to do a general overview of this one. And on the 4 hour right here, a little bit of a short-term breakdown. Yes, we do have a trend reversal going on. But is it likely to bounce first before anything else? And I would argue, yes. We are resting on the daily 21 exponential average 4 right now. Daily momentum oscillators are seeing a declining volatility. So I'm inclined to look at this one as likely to continue with current trend until proven otherwise. Where does our daily trend come into collision? That would be below about 21.75 or so, 21.75. So for right now, I would be looking for short-term timeframes to provide something resembling a bit of a short-term low here. Let's go down to like an hourly, perhaps. In this case, are we looking at any sort of bottoming action right now? No, I'd say no in this case. Probably another move down to about 22.5 or 22.40 or so first. Daily, or sorry, not daily, but 4 hour. What do we see right here? 4 hour looks like another grind of the lows. I expect that this one moves lower before it actually tries for a bit of a low, perhaps even as low as about $22 or so. I actually do think that this one, yes, will move down first. 4 hour jewel still showing some downside curvature, although this one's going to lose that very, very soon, just because it typically doesn't stay in this zone for too long. You see this low right here, you see this low right here, and kind of similar on this one right here and this one right here as well. But short term, yeah, a little bit of downside right there implied. 5 day. Oh yeah, that's right. We're not closing this one tonight, but we do have, I want to check this one right here. Do we have potential hidden bearish evidence? No, we don't actually. 3 day. Yeah, 3-day, again, short term, somewhere down around just below $22. I'd be looking for a bounce there, and then I want to come back to it after that. I do see some concerning things right here, though. To be fair, let's go look at momentum oscillators as well. I expect that this is going to support the short-term downside at the very least, and maybe even be like one massive reversal, which is it's so interesting today because we see so many different things on different, just on different trajectories. Anyways, 4-hour will actually cross back Stokes to the upside with any sort of clear above 22.78 or so. I'm only trading above there right now. Well, I don't know how much I would trust that. An hour and 41 minutes left to go on this one. 12 hours is going to show what? Down as long as below 25.40. Daily is going to show down as long as below 25.60. And weekly is actually still trudging its way to the upside, to be fair. Anyways, just look at the hourly as well. 22.68 is magical number on that one as well. So a little bit of short-term sideways, but I do expect that this one does have one more downside move. Somewhere down around, at the very least, like about 22.20. I think, personally speaking, though, it will go just below $22 and try for a bit of a low right there. Would that be destroying the daily trend? Actually, no, not yet. But it doesn't necessarily look like it doesn't look like the strongest thing of all time right now, and it's certainly not the strongest coin that we've seen today. This one would be a little bit more, I wouldn't say relatively weak, but it is on the weaker side, more or less par for the course. And especially weaker on the short term. So with that in mind, short term down, I would want to see something resembling a bit of a low structure just below $22 or so, and then maybe come back to it after that. If you do start to break below about 21.70, or sorry, 21.80, this is 21.80, that's when I start to get very bearish on this one, looking for, a nice move down below $20 to about 19.80, 19.90. Very likely a short term bounce there with, more downside implied over time. Monthly closure coming in later today as well. Not getting anything from this. Bi-monthly, same thing. I'm not getting much from this as well. So long term, I kind of hold off on stating anything else. Where would I start to switch my opinions around for the short term? Back above about 24.40 or so, right there. Short term would start to make this one look a lot more healthy and look like it is consolidating in a more long term bullish manner. But for now, short term down, and hopefully that was helpful. So there you go for Pancake Swap. All right, cool. All right, let's see. What else do we have over here? No one important says, hey, sir, can you look at Kati USD? Sure. We'll do this one versus Tether. Should we call this one? Is this one popular? I don't know. Well, whatever it is. Oh, whatever it is, actually has one of the better charts we've seen today, to be fair. Okay, cool. Kati on the daily, we do see potential hidden bullish evidence will be forming with any sort of a confirmed local low, especially above 30 cents. That actually looked pretty damn good. But what timeframes did you ask for? You did ask, you didn't ask for any timeframes. All right. Well, I'll just make them up as I go then. Looking at the 4-hour right here, do we even have hidden bullish evidence potentially present? Yes, we could potentially have it present, but this needs to confirm as a local low. How would you do that? Needs to pop back up and close above about 30, let's just call it 35 cents to make it nice and easy. If that were to happen, I would be looking for short-term targets back up somewhere around about 37.5 to 38 cents or so, and this would start to look a lot better, especially on the daily for putting a higher low within this region right here. Monthly, decent. I mean, it's not bad, but still about 17.5 hours left to go. I kind of hesitate on saying anything more than that. 3-day, what do we see right here? We do see, no, we did not close on new highs. You are selling off the prior retest of your prior all-time high in this case. Again, I'm not getting too much from this, to be honest with you. Where would I start to look for like another down leg down to about 28 cents? That would be had with any sort of any sort of a wick lower than your last 4-hour low in this case. That is where 31.78 or so. Hourly, are we getting any more biases right here? No, not really. Not really getting too much from this. So again, I do see some signatures that it could actually put in a bit of a short-term low right there. But again, 4-hour needs close back above, what was it? About 35 cents. And then I'll start to look at this one as a lot more healthy in the short term with a bit of sideways, and then very likely an upside resolution probably in September. Until then, though, this one is under a little bit more pressure. But I do suspect that it probably will do that actually. The trend is your friend on this one, and so far so good, I suppose. Anyways, okay, cool. All right, Crypto Signals says Ray USD on FTX hourly and daily. Okay, what is Ray USD? Why does this one sound familiar? Radium. Okay, all right. We look at this one right here. Actually, very interesting. You're looking at an hourly and daily. That's quite the spread right there. If we look at a 4-hour, I think it's going to make a little bit more sense within the context of that question. But you got a bit of a range going on short term here within the long term trend, which is good. Just want to see a bit of a move back above about 1282 or so. Until then, bit of short-term sideways, and I suspect that Actually, no, I was going to say short-term down. No, I would actually disagree with myself on that potential statement. Short-term, I'll probably be looking for another test right around about 1280. See any sort of a closure there, even on an hourly, I would be looking for daily to continue on with trend, with next targeted regions back around your prior, your prior highs in this case. That'd be about 14.5 to 1475. Look pretty damn good. And yeah, daily is suggesting one more move on this one, likely one more move. You will have some bearish divergence to be aware of on the daily, but until you actually confirm a local high right here, it's not playable, and it is not confirmed on the daily until you basically take out the 4-hour range to the downside, which is about $11 or so on a closure. If you start to see that, yes, I would look for greater pullbacks, probably down around about 8.5 to 8.25 over time. But for right now, I give it the benefit of the doubt, and actually it does look fine. I mean, I don't have any major issues with this. Volatility is starting to get pretty damn hot right here, but it can get a little bit higher, and I expect that it will on the next high, and that's where you probably do end up putting in your next major top before the next major pullback, so to speak. So tentatively short-term bullish, well, sideways and bullish, I suppose. Hello, good sir and Zurette. What's up, man? BNB USD on the 400. Wow, man, I haven't looked at BNB in like a month now. We can definitely do a video on this one too. Ah, shit, no, this one's got the same chart as most other things. Not the most interesting chart of all time, but 4-hour does look down on this one. What time frames are you looking at though? Yep, you're looking at 4-hour daily actually. Volatility increasing alongside 4-hour breakdown. I would be looking lower on this one. This is so interesting today. We are seeing true bifurcation in this market. We're seeing several things looking a lot more obviously short-term downside, and several things also making you all-time highs. Fucking crazy. I'd probably be looking for a move down around about 445 to 440 or so. After that, daily, I'd probably be looking for a bounce, right around about 440 to 445 or so. That would still be, that'd still be an uptrend on daily on daily time frame right here, and you would have hidden bullish evidence present between this point and this point if it can put in a low right there. But that's not going to happen at all in one day. At best, that happens tomorrow, assuming that it even holds above about 440. Looking at 5-day, not getting much right here. 3-day, not getting much right here. Monthly, okay, definitely not the strongest one that we've seen today. This one's like par for the course with short-term downside implied. And I really don't like the signature. You see momentum, you see volatility, and you see trend all in the downside. I mean, I like it if I want to be bearish, obviously, but I don't trade that thing. And I don't know, can you even trade that thing on margin? Probably yes. J3F says, hi, sirs. What's up, man? Matic USD. Let's do this one. I can record this one as well. This one used to be the darling of the market. Now it is just your average coin, it looks like. But here we go. Here we have Polygon, symbol MATIC, Matic versus the dollar. Kind of a confusing one right there, but I do need to let Elsa know because she's going to be doing the videos later. There you go. Anyways, we are going to be looking at a general overview on this one, and actually it's pretty damn standard as far as what we're looking at right here. I don't know when I charted this one last because no one's actually requested in the last few days. I am aware of that, but we do see that it is resting on that same sort of support that we did outline right around 130. Now 130 is important right here because if you do start to break below 130, I suspect that the daily trend will start to reverse. Actually, yes, it will, and you already do have your lower high right here, and this would be a head and shoulders, and this would be your neckline. So you could technically make a measure move on this as well, which will populate right here to show what the downside target would be. And that would be all the way down below, actually $1, just below $1 actually. And we do see the 4-hour time frame is actually, looking a little bit more like a breakdown short term. Has it broken down just yet? No. Is it potential and possible? Yes. How would you confirm that? With any sort of a closure on new lows? And I really want to see like legitimate new lows. So I'd say about 127 or so on a 4-hour, because I don't like to front runner when it's this close right here. But you do have a pretty damn good setup, to be fair. You do see volatility is starting to rise on this trend continuation on the 4-hour, which you do have obviously lower lows and lower highs right now, and 4-hour RSI is healthily in the bearish control zone, with 4-hour Joule not really giving me a signal either which way. Going over here to the 12 hours or anything to be aware of right now. Again, definitely not the strongest coin that we've seen today. 12-hour Joule still downside curvature, and I think the daily was there as well. Yes, it was, although it will be coming into fib support relatively soon. But does that come alongside maybe a wick down to 127 or 128 first? Perhaps yes. I just don't want to see a closure down there. If you do see a daily closure anywhere below there, on a daily 130 is what I'd say, or maybe a say 120, or sorry, 128 if you want to be like a little more conservative. And at that point, yeah, I would be calling a big breakdown on this one. Of course, we do also have the monthly closure tonight. Definitely not the strongest chart that we've seen today. We can also go over here and check it out on momentum oscillators as well and see if anything else agrees or disagrees with what we just said. Hourly will pop back up if we do close above about 131 and a quarter, which we're currently a little bit above right now. Not bad as I cough up my my early morning food. 135 on the buy hourly to turn momentum oscillators back up. 4 hours going to show 131.5. Okay, so they're kind of all aligned with each other in that region. 12 hour on daily. Let's see what we got right here. 12 hour all the way down at about 138. And daily is going to say 143. So at best, short term, it does go a little bit sideways and bounce from this level. At worst, you actually do see a clean breakdown from this region as well. Hourly does have hidden bearish divergence right here, by the way, which you probably should be aware of. And I think the buy hourly, nope, it does not actually itself. So fair enough on that one. Again, very, very clean and well-defined ranges. But if you do fail to bounce essentially from that region, I would be calling a big breakdown. At best, it bounces from, that 128 to 120.5 region once again. And this one would start to look pretty damn good. I should give you some hopium on the other side as well. This one would look pretty damn good if it starts to close, hourly is above about 143 or so. Just this little breakdown right here. Until that happens, though, I would be looking at this one as one of the weaker ones that we've looked at today, certainly. And hopefully that was helpful right there. There you go, sir. All right, cool. Let me just double check how many videos I have for today. I don't want to overload this one too much. What is it? It's the 31st? Yeah, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, Jesus Christ. How did we already have 6? That's crazy. Mr. Solverian's back. Hey, man, Tellurian has given me 700% profits. Not bad. All good, man. All good. Also, my check-in Matic 400. We literally did that one. Wishing I was. Hey, it's all good, man. It's all good, Solverian. Hey, man, and you traded that one well, and you made your profits. Don't let those slip you, though. The asset itself is not what gave you the profits. You gave yourself profits by trading it properly. The asset did not do anything. You just read it properly and made the right trading analysis and execution from there. So make sure that you separate yourself from the asset itself. But you did really, really well, and that's awesome. And that's what you should focus on. You can now apply that to any other stock that you like that has an easier setup, like the one that you postulated first, which was a great setup, to be fair, like a phenomenal setup, at least in my opinion. Pablo South says, your thoughts on on 2008 March 2020 meltdowns versus TA crashes happen in 1 to 2 days. Want to avoid getting wrecked. Okay, so let me see if I understand your statement properly. What I believe you're trying to speak about, Pablo, is like black swan events, right? Which I suspect you'd probably consider both 2008 and 2020 black swan events, right? I know that there would be some people who disagree with that as a synopsis, but I'm just trying to, get on the same page as you first so that we can understand, each other. And like, what's my thoughts about that? Well, first off, let's go over to it. I just want to highlight this really, really quickly. Let's go over to 2008. You already know 2020 right here. And it wasn't really done in 2 days, as you can see. Or sorry, where is March? Yeah, here, it's right here. It wasn't really done in 2 days. I mean, this really started way over here, right? I mean, things started to really accelerate to the downside in like February. It happened over the course of 1, 2, 3, 4, and put in the bottom on the 5th week. So did it really happen in 2 days? I disagree with that statement to begin with. In 08 over here, same thing, man. We're on a weekly chart right now. The majority of the damage was done in about 2 weeks. But you can see that you had the weekly reversal when you had it, technically speaking, right here on the break of 1440 on SPY. That's when the weekly uptrend did get lost. So I guess the question is, like, what do you think about fast breakdown? Well, the synopsis, if I understand properly, I would disagree with at the outset. But basically, like, I think the question is basically like, reversals can happen fast. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when things do reverse, it will happen fucking fast. What is it saying? It's like you take the stairs on the upside and you take the elevator on the downside, but like a broken elevator, like the ones at fucking Disneyland. The what is it called? I don't even know what it's called. I don't even know if it's at Disneyland, but those fucking stupid elevator rides where they shoot you up and then they drop you down. It's so dumb, but they're actually pretty fun, to be fair. Anyways, like, I guess my response to that is, well, yeah, I would agree. Like, when things do turn around, it's going to happen fucking fast. So that is why it's very important to have whatever criteria that you're looking at in order to define those immediately. In this case over here, you do see the weekly trend reversal right at 3,200, and that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks before the low in 2008. In free fall. And this one, same thing as well, right? This one had the reversal right here in December 07. You didn't put in the bottom until March, the next year, right? So this is why I put so much faith into trend. I mean, you know, one of the things that my mentor like was very, very specific about was when the weekly trend reversals, I trade with confidence to the downside. And, you know, that, and like he traded this one fucking phenomenally. I do remember that, although I was not there at that time. This one, or sorry, actually I was there on this, on the 2018 one and 2015 one and 2014 one right there. All of those, you know, once the weekly trend was lost, yeah, things do accelerate incredibly fast. Other than that, though, I don't really know where to go with a statement like that. Like I agree, but I don't necessarily agree with the synopsis. It will happen fast though, if that's like the general thought. What's up, Chris Tyne? Yep, we looked at Matic a few times now. Still there, and I'll actually upload a video on that later as well. Abs, hey, what's up, Abs? XRP on the short-term timeframes. Okay. Do we need to record this one? Probably not. I think I have enough videos already in the mix there. Let's get on to XRP right here. Short-term timeframes. Okay, to me that means like an hourly and 4 hour. XRP, for what it's worth, actually holding up better than a lot of other things. I do want to check out what the monthly looks like. It would actually have one of the better monthlies as well. This is so bizarre. This is the most bizarre. I think this is the most bizarre time that I've ever experienced in cryptocurrency land, just because so many things look so different. So many things look so fucking different today. Very, very strange. I don't really know what to make out of that just yet. Anyways, XRP, where's your risk to the downside? It's actually pretty simple on this one. It's right below this level right here, 107. Now, yesterday we did say we'd have a downside target of 110. We hit that. I wouldn't mind an extension of this move down to 107. Let's see, is it more likely than not? Hourly is let's see. Hourly's giving a little bit more downside angled right there. 4 hours giving obvious downside triggers right here. Hidden bearish divergence plus 4 hour jewel plus volatility starting to expand from a very, very low level as well. I do expect that you will extend this downside move down to about 107 or so. The question is, does that area break or not? If it does, you will have a daily reversal on this one as well. And I would be looking for an extension all the way down to about 96 to 97 cents. However, until that happens, I wouldn't necessarily get too bearish on it. I do think short-term down, yes, but I would be looking for a bounce first and foremost off of 107 and then come back to it after that. But this one is starting to put in some lower highs here, and the same lows typically does mean or does imply a descending triangle, which is a bearish distribution formation, more long-term. But it doesn't sound like you're too concerned about that. Just short-term, I'd be looking for a sideways and down on this one, down to about 107 or so. Probably bounce there. All right, cool. Henry Weinecker, what's up, man? TLM, daily weekly. Okay. What this be? Oh, it's a crypto. Oh, it's a crypto. All right. Well, I guess you can assume that when it is a cryptocurrency stream now, isn't it? Daily, weekly. Okay, let's go to a daily right here. Again, another chart that's just I would not be bearish on this chart. It's fine. Even daily jewel is having some upside curvature right now. Anywhere above, sideways above 32 cents, completely fine on this one. Completely fucking fine. Daily RSI looks okay as well. I mean, it's kind of sloppy right there. Long term, not a fan of the chart, as you probably know. Weekly, okay as well. I don't really have a major issue with this. Monthly, not enough history, obviously. 3-day, are we getting anything right there? No, not really. It's a sloppy altcoin, obviously, but other than that, I'd be generally biased towards the upside right here, I suppose. Again, as long as 32 cents does hold. If you lose 32 cents, that's at the point where it starts to actually flip around. My biases here, look for a short-term move back down to about 29 to 29 and a half, and then this starts to really lose its luster, I suspect. But let's go look at it here, see what it looks like on the daily specifically. Yeah, daily's crossing down. I actually would start to favor a little bit of the downside. No, it's actually not crossing down right now. That's 3360. You need it for that. So that actually does kind of align with the short-term timeframes relatively okay. A little bit lower than there, about 32 to 32 and a half cent. Until that happens, yeah, I guess I would be looking for sideways and up right here. But you can see that this one's definitely cutting it close. See what the 4 hour looks like right here. 4 hour will turn back up with any sort of a closure above 36.7. What about hourly? Going 34 as well. So actually above there right now. Sideways is good for this one. Sideways is actually pretty damn good for this one. 32 cent though is where biases do change, and change rather quickly, I should say. Okay, cool. J3F wants to look at audio USD. Yeah, we can look at this one. I can also record this one as well. I think that this one's one of the hot ones right now, perhaps. Let's see. Fucking no, I'm not gonna record this one. Although it is okay right here. Let's see. And you're looking at what time frames? 4 hour daily. Got it. Daily. Again, reaccumulation anywhere above about 235, completely fine. Will we have hidden bullish evidence right here? We will if this confirms as a higher low, which it would be with any sort of a closure or it's not going to happen today, but tomorrow could happen. About 283.5 would be confirmed. 4 hour, short term, not giving me too much right here. 12 hour, yeah, not giving me too much right here. I wouldn't mind another move down to 235 to 236 region. Just don't want to see a closure below there. Weekly, more on the stronger side, I guess. Same thing with monthly as well. A little bit more on the stronger side, more than anything else. Personally speaking, I do think that it will bounce from its current level right here and probably bounce back up somewhere around about 275 short term. And that obviously would imply more sideways and up and really gear this towards being your next potential low in this reaccumulation formation, which will be resolved on the daily with any sort of a move above your 29th of August high or a closure basically on new highs above this region right here at about 307 or so. That would imply a move back around pretty much your all-time high and probably new all-time highs into September as well. But and I would be favoring the upside right here. Again, as long as this one's above 236, completely fine. Below 236, bad. Looking at a move down towards like 190 to 195. What's up, VJ Singh? Look at Mara. Okay, 1 hour, 4 hour daily. All right. Mara. Marathon Digital Holdings. Good. Very, very good. And this would also kind of support the Bitcoin Bula case. You would expect that, I believe this is a miner. Miners would be kind of playing with Bitcoin right here, kind of suggesting the health of the overall market. Here's if it did lead into the last major breakout. This one broke out November of 2020, and obviously Bitcoin broke out in December. So maybe it does precipitate. Yeah. I would say this is obviously a lot more on the bullish side. I do believe that last time I looked at this, I was looking for a pullback first before an upside resolution. Looks like I'm wrong in this. This one's had its upside resolution. This is good. I'd be looking for this one to run towards 43 3/4. Very good right there. Weekly, very good. Monthly, very good. I'd be looking for this one. Yeah, probably into September. Maybe test around like 48 1/4 or so. Yeah, I think this one's probably reversing. This one's good. Also about to get the silver cross on a monthly time frame as well. Very nice. Very, very nice. Daily, volatility expanding. Momentum oscillators like Jewel still with upside curvature and breaking your trend right there. I think this one actually is going to do it right there. Powerful. One of the more interesting charts that we've seen today, most because of its implications with spot Bitcoin. Henry Weinecker, yep, we did sand actually, and I'll upload a video on it, I believe, later. Briefly bring it up right here as well. Sand USD. Yeah, we already looked at this one. So I expect that I'm just getting to this one a little bit later, so all good probably. If we're looking at it on a weekly, I mean, closing on new all-time highs is obviously not bearish. Daily, I think a little bit of short-term sideways and down, maybe back down to, I think it was like, what, 90 cents or something? I don't recall the exact area. Maybe like 89 to 90 cents or so short-term, but ultimately I'd be looking for sideways and up from that region. This looks pretty damn good. Wouldn't get bearish on this one as long as you're below, especially like 86 cent. Okay, cool. Saturn Epoch, Rose USD, short to midterm. I'd love to know, what does short to medium term mean to you? That's what I'd love to know, man. Let's see right here. 4 hour good. Is that short or medium term to you? I don't know. Hourly short term pullback, probably down to about 1230 or so. Daily's continuation. I mean, this is golden cross right here, breakout above your May breakdowns. I'd probably be looking for a long term continuation towards 15 cent again, probably even another test towards 17 in September. Getting bullish evidence off that last low right there, continuation. You got volatility increasing as well. Volatility momentum trend. It's good, sir. Yeah, short term, a little bit of sideways and down, but you're not confuse that with bearish, man. Can we take a look at Hex? Yeah, we can. Being used as a fucking marketing tool for Hex, but I do believe my 25 cent target did hit. Let's see where we're at now. Yep, 25. Oh, 25 cent to the fucking dot, baby. Every once in a while, that TA bullshit works. The funny thing is, though, is that the Hex people, like, they give me so much shit. They give me so much shit. Like, I've been calling upside moves on this piece of highly esteemed technology for a very long time now. Do I think that it continues from here? A little bit of short-term sideways. Probably does trade back down to like 22 and a half. But I would not call this bearish. This is still bullish. And probably does run for some new all-time highs, maybe September or October, perhaps. See what this one looks like right here. Have we hit all of our targets? No, we have not. Next target's the upside going to be around about 30 cents or so. Do you have this measure move right here in line with the 414 at about 27.5 on the way? So perhaps an area of interest there. Monthly. Yeah, not bearish, sir. Pretty fucking good right there. Not bad. Let's see. Laborantorol crypto. Can we look at CRO weekly chart? Sure. This is crypto.com, right? It is. I guess we go to Bittrex for this. And you're looking at a what? You're looking at a weekly. Monthly is good. Monthly is pretty damn good long term. Weekly, weird looking chart right there. Very weird looking chart. I do suspect that I don't really know what to make of this one. This wick right here is bizarre, to put it bluntly. Okay. I suppose I would be bullish on this one, although we do see some drives of bearish divergence on the top right there. Volatility is very, very low right now, and daily jewel is giving a downside signature. I would not look at it as playable, though, as long as you're above 15 cent, and I would guess this one's short-term sideways and up until that condition is met. But this one looks weird to me, man. I don't really have a good opinion on this. You know, I don't think I have a good opinion on this one. I do know that I would get bearish on this one below about 15 cent on a daily. That would be quite obvious to me, looking for big moves down to like 13 and a half over time. Until that, you know, sideways is good for the Bulaws here. Monthly is still, I guess, okay. Bi-monthly is okay as well. Weekly, I'm not getting too much from. 5-day, I'm a little bit more bearish on, but I don't think that's conclusive. I don't have a good opinion on this chart, man. I'm sorry. I really don't have a good opinion on that chart. Again, 15 cent is the only thing that I think is obvious right there. Below there, very bad. Rocky G, what's up, man? What's up, fam? How you doing? Thoughts on 5-day, 10, 21, 30 SMA slope strategy. Then on the weekly, looks very similar to 2014 setup or the continuation signal in 2013. Does it look like that? We can look at it. So you're looking at 21, 10, and 30. So I'll put these ones on right here. There we go. You're looking at these three. Let me just double check. Yes, you are looking at that. Okay, cool. Okay, you're looking at the 5-day and the weekly for the slope. 5-day right here. This is obviously a pivot at about 42.5. Let's see. So let's bring up the last examples that you're looking at right here. This one obviously bearish. That was your bull trap over here. Same thing, bull trap. That's not what we're looking at right now. Hold on. Let me just double check what we're looking at right here. Okay, you got the 10 across the upside of the 21 and 30 simple coming down to support. Okay, so no, that is not the same thing as right there. That would be similar to this one over here. That would be similar to this one over here. So this would be your trap. This would be your continuation. I don't think there's enough iterations on this to really give it too much worth, my friend, or my fam, I should say. What I want to see this on is I want to see this on like a daily. Which is obviously completely different. Weekly, there's not much to make out of this. Yeah, I don't think there's too much to make out of this. You can see, I mean, some similarities between this and that, but one iteration is just not good enough, in my opinion. I think for obvious reasons. And on a 5-day, you have split, so you have 1 and 1, one bullish, one bearish, one phenomenally bullish, and one phenomenally bearish. I don't think that that's good enough to make any sort of a plan on right now. This is to be used either on assets that have like a shit ton of history on the weekly. Then you can use it there. Like when I say that, I mean like probably 20 years plus. On a daily though, Bitcoin's fun on a daily here. From that perspective, it's consolidating obviously, but you got the same sort of pivots here too. So I don't really have too much to add to that, to be honest with you. Mona Lisa says, has anyone suggested 1 day for Algo UST? Yeah, we already. No, we have not looked at Algo. This on the daily, we'll go here, and you're looking at actually pretty good, not bad. I'd be looking for this one to trade up short term, back around about a buck. What is this, $1.11, and then anywhere above yesterday's high. Where's that 111.35 actually? So anywhere above there, especially on a closure, I'd be extending targets over the rest of the week to like 115, 116 or so. This one actually looks pretty interesting right here. Different chart again. Yeah, very different chart again actually. This is probably the weirdest charting day I think I've seen since going into cryptocurrency land. We see so many things that are completely different right now. This one would be another one as far as that goes. Yeah, short term, a little bit of upside right here. It does look like a bit of a short term breakout actually. So yeah, not bad. Bray Max is downside targets for B Pro. Okay, if it actually is breaking down. Some things are, some things are not. This one certainly is. Oh, it's bad. I'd be looking for this one to pop back down somewhere around about just below 10 cent. Or sorry, not 10 cent, 1 cent that is. Just below 1 cent or so. Anywhere around the 200 simple right here before the next sort of short-term bounce. Here's what this one looks like on the monthly. Yeah, not good. Not good right there. Weekly would be right around that, yeah, right below that 1 cent region as well. Short-term time frame is 4 hour. Do we give it a chance to bounce first? Technically speaking, I should give it a chance to bounce first. You do see this is an obvious ascending triangle right here at support. You know, I suspect that one does likely break, but you haven't necessarily broken just yet. Hourly looks bad. 12-hour looks bad as well. I do expect that this one probably does break down. So yeah, if it does break down, which is what you're specifically asking, so it's to specifically answer your question, I'll be looking just below 1 cent. What's up, King Cosmic? All right, SPY. We actually kind of looked at it a little bit earlier, but that's okay. Know that you probably weren't here. Hourly, continuation of new all-time highs. What do you fucking know, man? Is my long-term $45,000 target going to get hit? I think so. Monthly is going to be closing today. There's nothing bearish about closing on new all-time highs. You know, weekly is still good as well. Price, man. Let's go down to a daily. Daily's continuation as well, playing out that hidden bullish divergence into new all-time highs, plus volatility expanding as well. I expect that this one has a little bit more to go still. Short term, where would my next targeted region be? Maybe we can go down to an hourly really quickly because I know that you like that time frame, which is a pretty damn good one for traditional markets, by the way. Probably be looking for a short term extension of like 45, 50 or so, and then maybe a bit of a short term pullback from there. Wouldn't mind to pull back anywhere down to like 45, 30 to 45, 35 or so. Bullish as long as you're above 45.25. Pretty fucking good chart right there, man. The focus is on the monthly though. Like, make no mistake about it. The long term is what matters most right now. You do have the monthly and bi-monthly closure coming in a little bit later today. AAA says, hey sir, thank you sir. What's up, man? VRA weekly, monthly. Wishing you the happiest. Thanks, man. Yelling it in my face too. It's all good though, man. I can understand intentions, right? And that's all good. Anyways, you're looking at a weekly and monthly on VRA. Can we even populate? It's only been around for a year, man. I don't think it's going to be too helpful. Weekly's okay. I'm not getting too much from that though. Monthly is pretty good. Any sort of a closure here or higher, I'd be looking for a retest to prior all-time highs into September, probably most likely. At worst, sideways. Short term compared to what you're looking at, fine as long as you're above the daily 21 right here. That's 2.8 cent. Right here. I guess that was relevant for a short-term time frame, probably. Let's see. Yeah, for the 4 hour right there, but we can get rid of that right now because you're not interested in that. I'd be looking for sideways and up as long as this one's not cracking back down below about 2.8 cent. Below there, yeah, very bad. I'd be looking for big moves down to 2.25, all the way down somewhere around here. But for right now, man, this one's actually holding up relatively well. Well, I'd say certainly relatively well. 3 days looking decent as well, coming into closure tonight here too. I'd give this one the benefit of the doubt. Another one of the more stronger charts, I would say. Mr. Mural Gandhi, GDLC. Did we look at this one earlier? Is this different? Nope, we did not. Grayscale. Wow, holy fuck. Very good. Holy shit. What does this one track? So just large caps. So I'm guessing like probably the top 10 or top 5 or something. Obviously bullish. Coming into the monthly closure, obviously close on new all-time highs. Obviously fucking bullish. Another thing that would support the Bitcoin Boolah case right here, I'd say. I have no problems with this one as long as it's above about 51.5 bucks. Short terms you can see some pullbacks right there, but daily, this is a breakout very obviously. We got volatility expanding above 50 percentile, now above 71.5. Good. We got daily Jewel still continuing here, although it is getting really, really hot, I should say. And daily RSI, at some point you will be making some bearish divergence, but I suspect that just pulls you back into a higher low. Because look at the monthly right here, powerful. Look at the bi-monthly. Bi-monthly might as well be a bullish engulfing, powerful shit, even though technically it's not, but very, very good nonetheless. I'd be looking for more ups, or even the hourly is just continuation right here. Hidden bullish divergence on that last low. This one very likely trades higher towards $50 first before anything else. Very, 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 very good. All right, sir. I think I am done for the day. My voice is sufficiently wrecked up. God damn, man. God damn. Joseph Valcott, of course. There he is. We can get to that one really fucking quickly here, I suppose. What exactly was he asking? We can put it right back there. And then we'll sign off for a merry very way, our very merry way. Yeah, there we go. That's what it's looking for. LI stock. Oh dear. This thingy. Short term up. You can have time frames on this. No time frames, motherfucker. Daily looks to me a little bit more like or distribution to me on this one. Short term is up though. Short term is up. I'd be looking for this one. Well, shit. I'm looking around this one and I'm getting mixed signals everywhere I look. Monthly is obviously bearish. Long term it is bearish. Short term, does it pop back up to like 29.5, $30 first? Probably yes. bearish as fuck as long as you are following the downtrend right here, formulating your lower highs. I don't know if it breaks down like today or tomorrow, probably not, but maybe in September. Long term bad, short term probably a bit of bouncy right there. Other than that though, I think it's time for me to sign off. Holy fucking moly, man. 2 hours worth of streaming right there. Bitcoin's right on its lifeline once again. I do expect that it's going to test down around there too. Much right there anyway, so fair enough on that one. But again, the major areas for myself, especially when looking at the rest of these, the rest of the markets right here, which massive thank you to the community for bringing up a lot of these different charts, which look completely different, to be fair. I'd still be hesitant to call a reversal on Bitcoin as long as it's closing above the daily 21 right there, which is essentially our $47,000 level. 4 hour time frame, if you're going to use that to judge, I'd be looking at a closing lower low below about 46.7 or so, and then yes, a short term move down to about 45 low, probably bounce there, and then sets it up for likely continuation into September, down to 43,000 bucks. But until that happens, probably still looking at short term sideways and up as still good for the boo laws. So looking at resolution today, but the big eyes are on Ethereum to myself. We got the monthly and bi-monthly closure. If the closures are especially above 3,200, I'll be looking at this to probably retest around prior all-time highs into September, maybe even new all-time highs in October or November. With that in mind, I'm going to be signing off now. Take care. Hopefully you enjoyed the outro tunes. And Elsa is not giving you any... No, she is waving. Hey, there we go. All right. Respect all around. Take care. And until next time.
Write it, code it, name it, tweet it, mine it, stack it, live it, dream it, post it, scan it, charge it, send it, do it, and receive it. Trade it, buy it, sell it, store it, run it, list it, first rename it. Crypto logic. Pump it, hack it, lose it, dump it, sell it, ditch it, fix or pitch it, copy, paste it, nudge it, test it,